Monday. Monday. There, and there. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Dive Bomb Industries. I am Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
It has come. It's finally here. The third, right? Third. This is number 3, Cody, right? Number three. Third annual SquadFest is here. It feels like just yesterday we were getting ready to go up there.
Yep. Well, you guys were at the very first one, out doing podcasts in the asphalt and the 105-degree heat, and that was year one, 2021, right? And then so that was at the shop, and now we've expanded out to a big pavilion. But this is like crunch time to launch. So Friday's kickoff day for 2023.
What do you get more anxious about, or do you get anxious about anything anymore? Do you get more anxious about having SquadFest go seamlessly, or is it the new product that you bring to market? Which one gets you more like, oh shit?
The management part of SquadFest is, I don't want to say seamless, but this is year 3. We've kind of got a playbook. My sister spearheaded last year, and she did a great job recording everything she'd done before. So the actual implementation of SquadFest really doesn't make me all that nervous. There's always this thing in the back of your head, though. How will the turnout be, So we've got a tiny conflict this weekend. There's Delta going on down south. Those are our friends, so hopefully next year we're not going to have an overlap. But no, the thing that makes me nervous about SquadFest is people showing up. But every single year, it's been a total show out. We've blown the doors off of it. We've gone from 15 vendors outside of us to 30, and this year we're over 60. The contests have multiplied, the seminars, and on and on. SquadFest really doesn't make me nervous.
So now explain that, because Delta is going on. Now this was just it was a scheduling thing, right? Like this was basically the only time that you guys could have this place that y'all hold SquadFest at, right?
The 370, Lakeside 370 is very, very cool pavilion. It's on a lake, and it actually is on the southern end of our awesome flyway that runs through here in St. Charles County. So it's very familiar to most of the guys that hunt in this county and all the kind of surrounding ones. So that is our venue. We've looked at a couple other venues indoor and elsewhere, and it just does not have the same feel. It's on a lake. We have a dock with a dog jump. There's geese actually there. There's parks. There's a splash ground for kids, and a big shaded pavilion for the calling side of things. So we were presented with one weekend that was available, and we took it. And unbeknownst to us, it was the same weekend as Delta. So we've got a lot of vendors that are doing duels. So they're sending half their guys to Delta, half their guys to us. So there's that. But I'm sure the turnout will be great. So,
yeah, and anymore, you guys have cemented your place in the waterfowl world. So I don't think you got anything to worry about with turnout. I think,
Good.
If you could just buy some freaking air conditioning for St. Louis. The 2 times I have been to SquadFest have been 2 of the hottest days of my life. I'm going to Little Rock. I'm going to be at Delta. Andy's going to be at SquadFest this year. And the only thing I can say is at least I'm going to maybe see some air conditioning. But SquadFest has been absolutely amazing. The growth from 1 year to second year was crazy. And if y'all have growth through the third year, it will be probably the biggest waterfowl festival there is.
That would be amazing. And sorry about the weather.
You can't change that.
Well, this year maybe Andy will have the cool weather, and and you'll be down at Delta, hot and humid and whatnot. So maybe it's you.
It could be. Maybe I'm the one that causes that. Yeah. I told someone the other day, they said, have you been to St. Louis? I said, I've been to St. Louis, the airport 3 or 4 times. And I've been to actually stayed in St. Louis a couple times. And I said, I honestly believe if I went to St. Louis in January, it'd be 103 there with 80% humidity. Just a warm place. But I love.
Well, this year
I love the venue that you have. The park is great.
Yeah, the park is great. In year one, we had it out in the parking lot here at the shop, and everyone was, I don't want to say dying, but they looked close to they were pretty hot. So we ran out and bought a couple pallets of water and bought just in a whim these massive coolers. We were passing out cool towels and so free water. So free water and shade has been integral to this, and unfortunately the asphalt is black and does create a little bit of heat, but we're kicking off early. So if you're not a heat guy, we start, I think, at 8:00 both days. And then there is a pavilion with shade, and there is a little breeze coming off the lake now. So hopefully it's not so bad.
You put on a good show, and your customer service is A+. And it shows when you buy something from Dive Bomb, you get A+ customer service also. But that first year you passed around, and then you passed around pizza also to people. You really took care of your guests. And and guests don't forget that stuff. And that's what's amazing about the waterfowl industry is companies like y'all and Boss and some other ones out there that do just direct to consumer shipping and stuff. It seems like the customer service is a whole lot better that way.
Yeah, we can control every aspect of it. So you're not having to run to the big box and sit in a line and plead your case. You'd simply just email, text, call, or hit us on a social platform, and the response time should be next to nothing. So we were always pushing for better and better, especially on the customer service side. The SquadFest this year on the customer service side, we've done this every year, actually. We have a block rented at the Sheridan in Westport Plaza, and we actually offer free shuttle. So we will have beer and food out there, and Friday night we're doing a free concert with Murphy 500, a band actually out of Illinois. So I encourage, if you guys are planning on drinking, to either get a DD or to stay at the hotel and take the shuttle, take advantage of it. It's all like-minded people, great conversation, probably even smuggle some beer on the bus, get out there, enjoy, take advantage of the band. I mean, it's a free event, free water, free parking, free shuttle, free band. And then on top of that, we have a bunch of Dive Bomb deals going on. You can see all the products you've been thinking about purchasing on hand. You can see the new up and coming products. And then also a new part of the event this year, a new part of the merchant tent for Dive Bomb is we actually are going to put a very large fulfillment style tent. So if you want to come in and buy your spread or buy a trailer full of decoys, you can do so at the show, take advantage of the deals, take advantage of obviously being able to pick it up and not paying shipping, but you can pick it up at the time of purchase or when you decide to leave the event at the fulfillment tent, which is on the way in or on the way out of the event. So it should be really convenient, and that's a new feature for the show this year.
Yeah, because the last 2 years, they've come on Sunday to the shop, right, and just picked it up there.
Yep. We would have to go to the shop, which is probably 20 minutes away, and there's typically a pickup line that starts pretty early, and you get loaded up there. So now it should be right there. So even the small stuff, if you want a dog collar, any of the drinkware stuff, any of the new technical line of apparel, it's all right there to walk home with. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, people are going to eat that up because, and it's perfect time. It's end of July. Everybody's thinking about waterfowl hunting, and everybody is also looking at saving a couple dollars. Inflation is a bitch right now. So being able to, cut costs on shipping and just walk away with your spread I think people are really going to like that. And they're not going to have to worry about being too hungover on Sunday morning and picking stuff up at the shop.
That's right. And there's a whole lot of people. There's actually a campground next door. So there's last year, the turnout for the campground was not spectacular, but I think all the people that came last year saw how close the campground was and how convenient it is and actually how nice it is. So we've had reports from the campground that they're getting actually very full. So that should be cool.
Is Old Bart's cooking again this year?
Old Bart's Friday is a catered dinner by Old Bart's, and then shortly after that, I think the live band starts. Yeah, Bart's BBQ has been phenomenal. He's an awesome guy too. But yeah, I've only heard awesome things, and every time I've had it, it's been fantastic. So Bart's Catering Friday. We'll have food trucks there all day Friday, even breakfast food trucks. There's beer there, and inexpensive beer. We're not making any money off of the beer. Dive Bomb is not profiting 1 cent off the beer to an effort to keep the prices low. And then lunch food trucks, and then Saturday we'll have a whole day full of breakfast, lunch, and dinner food trucks that run the gamut. So
now, are y'all? I don't remember the lineup from last year, but it seems like there's a lot more seminars this year. Is that true, or am I just making that up in my own head?
No, there's a whole lot more seminars. I got a list here somewhere, but we've got two different seminars on dog training, one by Sporting Life and one by Kyle Fagler on high volume retrieving. We've got Hunter Grounds doing a seminar on waterfowl calling, which should be just spectacular. And then several other seminars, and then contests in addition to the seminar. So obviously the calling contest portion is significant. We can go over that shortly, but we've got a waterfowl retrieving combine, bumper bomber contest, and there should be some other stuff that we're going to throw in. A shell shagger, which is our magnetic shell pickup retrieval. We're going to have a race to pick up shells, all with great prizes. So
now, what's your week after this look like? Are you just totally run down after this freaking? I mean, it's 2 days and you're running around. I saw you last year, and like you are everywhere. You're talking to everybody, shaking hands, and you want to meet as many people as possible. Is the next week just like you feel like you've been run over by a freight train?
So Sunday, family barbecue. Monday is a golf for GRHA, which is our local Habitat Alliance. And then Tuesday, I'm going to Alaska.
Jeez.
You better take you a jacket.
Yeah, that, and I think bug spray, and I don't know if I should bring a pistol or what, but at least bear spray. So this is the Cody moon. I got married about a month and a half ago. We went to Mexico for 3 days, which is great. And we sat on the beach, but you can only sit on the beach so much. So we're going to Alaska for a week. We're going to do 3 different places. We're going to go up to Denali and then Kenai, and then going to go down to Homer and actually fish with a couple guys that I duck hunt with that are running a halibut charter. So I hopefully get some rest that week, but I'm really looking forward to it. I've been to Alaska twice, and it's only been I was like 5 or 7 years old. So coming up on 32 years since I've been to Alaska. So
now, what
cool.
all are you going to do at Denali?
We're going to stay in a town just south of there by the name of Talkeetna. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, but
I think that's right.
We've got a pair. We're going to bring some fly rods and waders, and we're going to try and catch the Dolly Varden and brown trout and grayling and stuff along there. And then, so that's up north. And I don't know exactly what all we can do inside of Denali. We'll basically be able to see it where we're at, and then have it's a little town with a pub and restaurants and some other cool stuff like little shops and stuff. So 2 days there, and then we're going to go to Soldotna and hopefully hop a float plane across the Cook Inlet and catch silver salmon. I guess the run's starting for those. And then from there, we're going to go to Homer, and then the Homer Spit is a chute down the south end of the Kenai Peninsula, which is famous, I guess, for halibut fishing. So that'd be a travel and fishing and stay divided into 3 places over a week.
So you're not going to scale Denali or anything like that. You're just going to watch it look at it from a safe distance.
I have no interest in scaling Denali or getting charged by a grizzly or anything else. But I'm interested in fishing side, maybe a couple beers in the town side of things. So
those people that do that shit, I don't get it. I'm with you. I don't understand the fascination with going up these, and like then you got to bring oxygen up there, and if you die on Everest, you got to stay on Everest, and I don't know. Those people are crazy. It's not my bucket
not
list.
For me. No.
I want to do Alaska. I'm thinking that's what we might do with our family vacation the next 2 summers. I don't know if the boys would get a lot out of that, because I don't know if they just want to see bears and fish.
I don't want to see bears in Alaska.
Oh yeah, you're going to see. Yeah, you do. If you go to Alaska, you want to see a bear. Cody, are you excited about seeing bears?
From a distance. I don't want to get close to one. I don't. I've listened to that Meat Eater podcast that talks about it goes into detail about that father-son duo where they were trying to stalk the bear, and it came out and he hand-loaded his own cartridges and his rifle jammed, and the son had to basically wrestle it off of his father, and his whole face was just mauled to bits. It's actually an awesome podcast. Then there's a lot of photos and videos to back it up online. It is just awful.
You should listen to the one we did with Jeremy Evans. He has a similar story. It was a mama grizzly, and he was sheep hunting, I think, in August, and got in between her and the cub, and before he knew it, it was a good situation.
The guy had to pick his lips and his ears up off the ground and put them on top of his head and wrap them up, and they attached them.
Oh.
Whoever done the plastic surgery on him, that man should get a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah. I'll shoot you a couple links of it though, but yeah, it's it's a wild tale, but it's not like, I'm a little squeamish. So when he was telling it, and people have messaged me after that, like I got sweat rings toward the end of the podcast just because it was pretty gnarly. So you could see I was starting to sweat through my shirt a little bit, but yeah, I am not, I want to see a grizzly from a safe distance.
Did you see the video of that shark attack, that tiger shark eating the guy off of Egypt?
No, I did not.
You need to look that one up. It is like horrifying.
Oh, wait a second. Was this the one where he was hollering back at his dad?
Yes.
Okay, I think I saw clips of that. I didn't watch it all though.
They found half of him inside the shark and the other half floating in the sea. I mean, how that? So that was just before my honeymoon to Cabo, and we were out snorkeling, and I was just like,
I've talked about this before. We were snorkeling off of Cozumel this year, and the water goes from like 15 foot deep to 1,600 feet. There's a cliff there, and we got over the 1,600 foot of water, and I got this eerie feeling. I'm like, screw that shit. I've got a client of mine, and this happened 25 years ago. Him and his wife were divers. That was their thing that they really liked to enjoy, and they flew all over and they went diving, and they were doing a night dive off of Cozumel somewhere, and they had their lights on. All of a sudden, this light goes flying right by them, and they've never seen his wife again. Something grabbed her, and they've never seen her again. And that's all I could think about when we was down that water. You couldn't see below you. Was seeing some big old eyeball of some big ass shark coming to grab a fat guy. You know, you always want to shoot the fattest thing, everything you look at. So if there's a bunch of people snorkeling and Andy and Jesse are out there in their little hard bodies, you think my fat ass, I look like Thanksgiving turkey right there. So
you think you're a trophy?
Oh, I'm the one they're
You're
after.
A trophy is what he thinks he is.
Everybody, if you go deer hunting, you shoot the biggest deer. You're going to shoot the biggest bear. So a shark is going to eat the fattest guy out there. So I was looking around at all the people around me, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, I'm ground one here. I'm the target.
That's
it is an eerie feeling though. Whenever when you were snorkeling, did you snorkel or did you just stay on the beach because you just seen the tiger shark video?
No, I snorkeled. I was out there. I've always been interested in surfing, scuba, snorkeling, and I was out there and I was like, maybe this isn't for me. And then I went from being like a seaman. I want to be out there conquering the opens to my wife calling me sea bitch. And I'm like, what? Like, you didn't want to surf, you didn't like snorkeling. I don't even think you like the ocean. I'm like, maybe I don't. Maybe I'm just a Midwestern guy.
Yeah.
The most dangerous beach in America is off Florida. And that thing is covered right now with people, and they have no idea what is swimming just 20 feet from them all the time.
There is something that is majestic. Like whenever you get out on the ocean, like you can, I don't know, it taps into something real primal. But I'm like you, there's no way I could do it. But like I get the feeling like it's the last frontier almost. Like, because more people have been into space, supposedly, depending on what theory you believe, than have been at the depths of the ocean.
If I'd have given you $100 bill, would you have jumped off the boat last week off one of them gas wells off Venice?
No, not happening. Not happening at all.
You guys were fishing
yeah,
off
we
Venice?
just got back. We were gone all last week. We were filming our new TV series down there. It was a interesting. It was a fun trip, great trip. Chef Jean Paul cooked for us. We had a good time, but we caught Andy and Chef Jean Paul tag teamed a big shark.
Really? Did you catch tuna?
No, we didn't go out that far. Thank God. I don't like to boat ride that much. I would rather. I'm gonna be honest with you, Cody. If I could catch 100-pound fish or catch a 10-pound fish, I'd rather catch 3 10-pound fish than 100-pound fish.
Yeah.
Too much work.
Yeah. I want the tuna. I want to drive down to Venice in a pickup truck, fish, catch as much tuna as I possibly can. I want to load the bed up with ice. I want to drive the tuna home whole, and I want to eat sashimi for as long as I possibly can while it stays fresh.
You could do that. Though, guys, all kinds of guys selling charters down there right now. I'm going to tell you right now, there is not a St. Louis in July is like Shangri-La compared to Venice, Louisiana in July.
When that Cajun air conditioning's not going, AKA when the boat's sitting still, it is fucking hot.
Even in the ocean, we burned up. I mean, we were out in the ocean and there was no breeze at all. It was flat. It was just like being in a lake, flat, no wind at all, glass. And it was freaking 95 degrees and the humidity was 177%. I think it was terrible.
177.
It was bad.
Yeah, you got to get in the top and out of the sun, you know?
Yeah.
Take a dip, you know? Nothing to be afraid of in the water.
Right.
There's plenty to be afraid of in the water. I reeled in a shark.
I'm telling you right now, if you'd have thrown Andy's ass off the boat, he'd have walked on water. There is no way he was getting in that water around them gas wells. There's no way.
No, it's not happening.
Mm.
You know, I'm thumbing through the channels almost every night. It's like every day is Shark Day or every week is Shark Week anymore.
Yep.
Yeah. It used to be 1 week. Now it's like all summer long, just to petrify people.
Have you been to Venice before?
I have not. Nope.
It is unlike any place I've ever seen. It is a true fishing village.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing there but fishing. There's no chain, nothing. There's not even a grocery store, I don't think, in town. I mean, there's nothing there but fishing.
20 minutes to the closest Dollar General. That's when you know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm dying to get down there. I've heard it's dubbed Tuna Town, USA, or the end of the earth, or all these other things. And I guess that the tuna congregate on some underwater mountain. Someone from Venice is probably hearing this and rattling off the proper names. But then the red fishing, and I'm trying to get down.
It is a beautiful place. I highly recommend it for anybody. It's unlike any place I've been to in the United States when it comes to fishing and just being it's a natural beauty like Yellowstone. I mean, all that water coming in out of the Mississippi and all them bays and flats and the alligators. I mean, there was alligators, there's redfish, there's all kinds of fish there. There's game. It's a very interesting place.
So is sashimi's your deal? That's your jam?
I love sashimi. Salmon sashimi, tuna sashimi. I went to the Keys a couple months back with some guys in the office. Went out on a charter and we caught the little tuna. I can't remember what they were, blackfin tuna, and cut them up. And we took them at the restaurant, and they sliced it thin and gave us a whole bunch of dipping sauces. And we crushed this plate of sashimi. I mean, we couldn't get enough of it. So and then salmon sashimi I've been a big fan of forever. So and then I went to Japan actually years back, and we went to this big sushi market there. We ate toro, which is like the fatty portion of the bluefin tuna or yellowfin tuna, and it's unbelievable. Like melts in your mouth, delicious. So yeah, I'm a big sashimi fan.
Dirk from Bosch just got back from Japan, and he went on and on about how incredible that place was. Like they beat America at almost everything.
Except for the one that counted.
The public restrooms are immaculate. Like, you know, they're all, no matter where you go, bus stop, train station, public restrooms are great. Every place is well air conditioned. The food is phenomenal. Nobody's fat and overweight and bitchy, but it's an homogenized country.
Yeah, when I went, it was very expensive, first of all, but it was very clean. People were pretty nice overall. And AC, man, I think it's predominantly pretty cold there. We sat on the street and we drank hot sock on the edge of the street. It was awesome. People just walking by. It was like an outdoor bar on a street corner. Went to a festival, went up to the Space Needle and saw Mount Fuji. So it was pretty spectacular. So
I think their crime rate's really, really low. And I think that their mom and dad rate is very high.
I saw something where it's children can roam Japan free, and this may be a bit of an exaggeration, but it's the whole nation looks after children, so children can just walk up and down the street And everyone in society is just supposed to mentor them or help them like they are their own parents. So I guess it's a really, really safe place for children.
We need more of that for sure. What's their mom and dad rate in Japan?
I don't know, but I'd also heard that like they really respect their elders. Like elders are something to be respected and revered, and talk to. Like get their story and figure out about them. And we you can go on any social media outlet, and I mean there's somebody that's beating the shit out of an old lady right now, robbing her for her purse, and it's just not that way over there.
Do you remember, Cody? You're a lot younger than me. You're like Andy's age, but do you remember did y'all have an old lady on y'all's neighborhood, the old nosy neighbor lady that got onto all the kids in the neighborhood? We need more of those again. They kept the kids in line. Don't ride your bike in my yard. Don't do this. Don't do that. Well, she was a grouchy old woman, but every neighborhood had one of those back in the 70s. I know y'all are younger than that, but in the 70s, every neighborhood and every block had one of them women. We miss those ladies on the street. They kept everybody in tow.
I think my mom was our
I've met your mom. She's a nice lady.
I wouldn't say she was nosy, but she definitely patrolled the street. I mean, when the kids would drive their Hondas through with the loud pipes on it, she was out there in the front yard throwing shoes at the cars. And then, she was hitting the cars with the shoes, and she was protecting us more than anything, but and the dog and whatnot. But yeah, I'd hear from kids at school, your mom came out the front door with a shoe in her hand and hit the hood of my car, kind of stuff. I had her growing up. And
so tell me about your Great Rivers Habitat Alliance. What's that about?
So Great Rivers Habitat Alliance is a 3-county non-for-profit group. I don't want to say there's something comparable to Ducks Unlimited, but it's a very focused conservation effort in the 3-county group here that's so pivotal to our waterfowl. St. Charles County, Lincoln County, and Pike County, which is basically 70 straight miles of habitat that span from basically where our festival is this weekend all the way up to Ted Shanks. So it's 70 straight miles of habitat. So it's a group of local individuals that pool funds and do fundraisers and help preserve and protect the habitat here. So we've got urban sprawl is probably the biggest threat here. So a lot of our floodplains have been developed into commercial and retail and residential, and it's encroaching on our habitat. So a lot of this is pushing back and making sure that we're promoting easements, promoting just basically to hold back development of our floodplain.
So how long have you guys been pooling resources and doing this?
So this is, I think it's been over a 20-year effort, but as of recently, we've taken on full-time development or manager here. He came over from Ducks Unlimited. We've got 2 boards going, the main board, then there's an executive board, and then there's a junior board here. But there's all sorts of events. There's a Ducks Unlimited, or there's a shooting event at Strathalbyn here, Sporting Clays event. There's a golf event. They'll be participating in SquadFest this weekend. And then they also put on their own show by the name of Duck Fest. It's usually pretty cool at a local pub in Old Town St. Peters. So,
well, I mean, that's what happened to the Katy Prairie in Texas, is just urban sprawl just killed it. And now nothing. Now there's no duck hunting down there or goose hunting.
There's right now, if you go to basically Elm Road or Elm and 370, which is right where that park is, there's a new FedEx hub there with great big lights. They tried to put recently. They tried to put a set of wells to provide the community around with water in actually a waterfowl property, a 700-acre contiguous waterfowl property that's actually in a Ducks Unlimited permanent easement. They tried to come in and put in wells right in the middle of this thing, so there'd be people driving through it. It would have been devastating. We quickly got that overturned through the efforts of GRHA. So it's a pretty great deal, and it's fun, and it's like-minded guys, and you get to go see different clubs. And they had a waterfowl management seminar last week. That's always a great time and very educational.
So how was this last duck season for you? Did you get out very much?
It was awesome. Yeah. So we've been working on our own compound up north, about an hour from here, and we split up our moist soil and corn efforts. Instead of just putting in 100% corn, we didn't harvest 1 ear of corn. We left it standing. And then our waterfowl practice or management concept, we refuged 60 acres, and we're not a huge compound. It was 180 this past year. We refuged 60 acres and blocked off driving around it. We set hunting hours. We didn't hunt the mornings. We only hunted the afternoons. And we had the best year. We tripled our numbers from 21. So hopefully we see that again this year. We've picked up a lot more land. And so, yeah, it's great. I try not to travel for a 60-day season here. So November to December, I'm pretty much planted here, going hunting our place and then hunting with friends. So.
Do you feel like hunting in the afternoon do you think that's what led to some of the uptick in duck numbers that you saw, or did y'all just have a better overall winter?
I think that the duck numbers as a whole were much better. But the theory someone told me was, we're taking our refuge is basically a public place we almost border, and they have hunting pools there, and their hunting hours are from sunrise to 1 o'clock. And someone told me, if they're hunting at those times, you should refuge the opposite. So we refuge till 1, or we can kind of stretch it if we need to. If it's thawing at 10:30 and 11, all the birds are coming out. Then we hunt then. But we try to do the opposite of the refuge, and it's worked out really well for us.
It's crazy how the mallard duck has transformed its stuff. It's crazy how, I'm trying to think of the word, how they change with the situation. And there's a word for it, and it's completely lost my mind here. Adaptive. Right. They're so adaptive.
They've gotten predominantly nocturnal around here. And then the public places, Grand Pass is just you can see it every time you go. You can hunt all day till about 12:30, and hunting ends at 1 o'clock. And about 12:30, all the ducks start flying because they know post 1 o'clock they're safe. So they learn quick.
That is crazy. There's a place in Oklahoma, and I'm not supposed to say Fort Cobb Lake, but there's a place there where it's public. It's a public lake. It's a refuge. It's not a refuge, just a public area. But they have a part of it that you can't hunt. They say that place that you can't hunt is just covered with ducks, and they're buzzing all around. You get across that imaginary line, and there's nothing flying a lot of times. And it's just those birds freaking know. And it's the same in town. You can find park geese that'll eat out of your hand in Lubbock, Texas at the parks. But then you go to a decoy spread and they see a person, they stay a mile away from them. They are smart animals, and they're very adaptive. Did y'all kill any weird birds this year?
Any weird birds?
Yeah.
Not that I know of. Not really anything crazy. No bands, no weird birds. We're going to try, we typically throw out a honker spread once duck season's over, but I'm just going to go straight to the snow spread. We got a lot of specs running through here now, way more than we do honkers. And we're going to just throw a snow spread out right after duck season ends and hunt that for specs, maybe try to pull some honkers into it and keep that spread and just grow it all the way through snow season. So we've got our specs and snow numbers are actually pretty good where we're hunting. So we're going to try and give that a full-fledged effort this year.
The spec numbers are crazy all over the United States. I think they're everywhere from fucking Key West to Seattle now. Has got speckle bellies, and they're just growing and growing and growing.
We've got breeding pairs sitting here right now. It's kind of crazy. Never seen
specs?
That before. Yeah.
No shit. I've never known them to winter anywhere outside the Arctic Circle.
What in the hell is going on with the speckle belly goose?
They're adaptive also.
Evidently, they're growing like crazy. So, yeah, our spec side of things on product line is continually growing. We sell the heck out of them. We pulled gross sales by species in lots of different states. Texas specs were huge. Arkansas was like number 2 for us. It was wild.
It would be interesting to see how many more people are buying spec decoys just like all across the board in like these weird places. Because I know people like in Indiana and Illinois they message me and they're like, hey, we're starting to see some specs here. Do you think that if I mixed in some spec silhouettes that it would make a difference? And I'm like, yeah, well, just get them and throw them in there. It won't hurt anything. But I'm getting more and more messages from places that I never thought would shoot a spec, and they're starting to see them more and more. So
they're
doing well.
Yeah.
Do you shoot any black ducks in St. Louis ever?
Very, very rare. Very rare. I think I was hunting Grand Pass in college. This is 20 years ago now, but they have a big kill chart of everything they've killed, and they read it off, and they're like, and one black duck on the whole 3,000 acre hunting preserve that 30 parties of 4 go out a day. One black duck I think we shot in the first 30 days of season. So no, rarely do we get black ducks. If you go east of here about 20 miles, I think Portage de Sioux, I think you get more eastern flowing rivers that converge into the Mississippi. They shoot more of them over there.
We are going to hunt with St. Lawrence River Outfitters. I think y'all hunted there too. We're going to hunt this year with them in October, and my goal is to shoot a black duck. I shot one when I was a kid.
I didn't hunt any ducks there, but they're awesome. Was it Roy? Wah, I think is how you pronounce his last name, but he's awesome. Those guys are really legit. I mean, they can call, they know how to hide. You're shooting into really not big groups, but you're hunting big feeds, and they get in. You shoot your limits early, and they're out of that feed in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I can't.
I mean, it's a really legit place.
We're doing that. We're going to catch smallmouth bass, and I cannot wait to do that.
St. Lawrence River. I didn't really realize it when I was there, but it's a really famous smallmouth fishery. I went out for a day there, and we footballed. So we were on the front of the boat with a trolling motor going against the current, slowing us down. We football jigged off the bottom, and we caught several smallmouth. And then there's walleye and pike and all sorts of stuff. That was a really cool part of the trip. So I'm glad to hear you're going on to St. Lawrence.
That is absolutely. We just got back from there. We were there 3 weeks ago with our family. We rented a house up there up at the Thousand Island area. Absolutely, I think the prettiest place in America. And I've been in a lot of places in America, but boy, it was just the water was beautiful, the homes are beautiful, the history. So I am so pumped about that.
So we did a 2-day or like a 2-destination trip. We went to New York early season, which is an unplugged 15 bird daily man limit, which is crazy for honkers. So that was absolutely wild. We did that first, and then we drove through Quebec or Montreal, and then we went over to St. Lawrence for several days. So that's a very cool trip.
Where did you hunt in upstate New York at? Was y'all hunting around the Montezuma Montezuma Wildlife Refuge? And I've had the Montezuma Revenge. It's no good.
No, honestly, I don't remember. I know I got a speeding ticket there. I thought for sure I could plead it down to non-moving or something. And those guys are tough, so don't speed.
Jeff's a speeder.
Yes, I am. I drive fast all the time.
So tell me about flop industries. It's kind of off topic, but was that out of a labor of love, or did you see a hole in the market for the fishing industry, or do you consider yourself equal parts fisherman and hunter?
So I'm equal parts fisherman and hunter. I used to crappie fish with my grandpa on Mark Twain Lake here, and we jig, and then everyone always gets minnows regardless, no matter how tough the fishing is or how easy it is. Everyone just takes minnows out for sure, just to have them in your back pocket. But we used foam, and then there's some foam coolers, but it's 110 degrees out in summer. Your minnows die in a heartbeat. Then you've got some other brands out right now that I think are subpar. But anyway, we developed a live bait cooler that runs for 110 hours. It's insulated. It's tough. It has a removable chill plate. It's got basket and whatnot. But I saw a need for that and basically the live bait side of fishing. And then on the other hand, I was younger touring Midway USA, and they told me a statistic which was great on the crossover they had from hunting and shooting into the fishing world. So I figure, if it offsets the seasonality of the waterfowl world, and it encompasses a lot of our current people, and then the obvious part, if we have a passion for it, it's a no-brainer. We should to establish a fishing side. So, the first product out of the gate was a live bait cooler that we won actually first in category at ICAST in Orlando 2 weeks ago. So it was very cool to get up on stage and receive an award, up against some of the bigger boys in the industry. And then, we're continually working on new products for flop, the gear side of things, the technical garment, tackle storage, accessories and all that sort of thing. So it's growing, all great things, cliche take time. It's just, it's kind of a shoe-in for us because it's slow season for us, and we're passionate about it again. So yeah, check out Flop. Flop in his.
We went to the Bassmaster Classic in Knoxville. Was it Knoxville?
Yeah.
In Knoxville this year, and the fishing crowd is absolutely amazing. They dwarf the hunting crowd. It's just crazy. I mean, I didn't realize there's that many people crazy about bass fishing until I went to that show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the statistic I heard was 70% of hunters are fishermen, and 10% of fishermen are actually hunters. Whoa. So if you're already in the world, then your ability to transfer 70%, particularly of your consumer, over to the fishing side.
But only 10% of fishermen are hunters.
Right.
I think it's a financial deal.
Yeah, it's more cost effective to be a fisherman, right?
I mean, you drive by any lake and you see guys sitting on a bucket with a bobber and a hook, and they can afford to fish and they eat their fish.
Right.
Hunting's expensive.
Yeah. Hunting's expensive, tons of gear, cold early mornings. I mean, and then the availability of hunting ground compared to the availability of water to fish is a stark distance. And then the substance or sustenance part, the eating part of it, fish are, I think, delicious. I hate to say it, but I really enjoy fish over ducks. So yeah, there's a lot of people fishing on the weekends, especially coastal waters. We're down in the Keys. They've got all these public fishways alongside the highway. We were down there on a Saturday morning, and it was elbow to elbow people fishing for food, for fun and for food at the same time. So
yeah, you're not going to get any argument here about ducks and geese, the way they taste. Fish over ducks and geese
any day. If Chef Jean Paul's cooking, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you take a bad fish, and a lot of times it's going to taste better than a duck or a goose.
See, you're finally getting with the program. Ducks and geese are no good to eat.
You got to prepare them right. And I guess you do to a certain extent with fish, but
I had one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. I had swan pastrami.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely amazing. Never would have thought that.
Sounds
if you'd have told me that's what I was eating, I'd have called you a damn liar.
Well, I'm going. I got a vacuum sealer this past year. I'm going full-blown sausage on all the ducks and geese that I shoot. I mean, mix it with pork and grind it and smoke it. That's what I'm going to end up doing.
Hey, have you smoked any salmon? We caught some in New York when we were there, and I was going to try to do it on the Traeger. Any tips or pitfalls?
I'll be honest with you. I'll send you an awesome recipe that I found, but you've got to brine.
Okay.
So it's brown sugar and salt. And then a really important part that I read was post brine, you need to pat the fish dry and then let it, basically the word sounds scientific is whatever it sounds like. It forms a skin or like a white silverish layer over the meat. And you don't want to smoke until you have that layer on it. So after you brine, you set the meat out either in the fridge or under a fan, and it needs to form a thin layer, like an iridescent layer, prior to putting it on the smoker. And then basting with honey is what I've also heard. So I'll send you a recipe for it. But yeah, I did it. It's great. Mix it with cream cheese, and it's an awesome, simple dip. Cream cheese, cracker, and smoked salmon's awesome.
Yeah, send me that because we've got, and I don't know what else we were going to do with it. I mean, it was okay. We grilled it one night when we were there, and it was just okay. I think it would be better, smoked. Plus,
Mm-hmm. You didn't like the salmon up there?
It was okay. I like smoking shit.
When you go up northwest, you can buy smoked salmon on the side of the road like you can lobster and crab or lobster, like lobster rolls. When you get up like Vancouver area.
Well, now you're going to have it in West Texas, Jeff.
We'll see how good it is.
It's going to be good. I got faith in Cody. So what else is going on at Dive Bomb Industries? What else? We got any new products that we got coming to market?
Yeah, so there's going to be a whole bunch of new products on display at SquadFest, but the things we're really expanding on, the floater line is ever expanding. So three diver species coming: bluebill, redhead, canvasback. Big one that's coming that we've been teasing for a while is our snow full body. So 4 original positions, carvings, awesome motion stake, a tail loop. They're and the sculptures are freaking awesome, and the price is fantastic. And then the technical side of things, technical gear, we've got the trudge boots, which are wildly popular. That's the short uninsulated deck style boot. We've got a 400-gram thin slit tall boot this year, and then we'll have some heavier thin slit models to follow. Waders are coming this fall. So top end waders, but should be very competitively priced. As of our customer service, everyone knows our customer service is great. So warranty and customer service on waders should be phenomenal as well. We're looking to do several things here in-house and on hand that some of the other brands aren't doing to expedite repairs and warranty and on and on. And then for those who've come through and seen the warehouse and the shop here, we've actually leased another building, Caddy Corner, and we're putting in a new showroom. Big signage out front, fresh look for our physical showroom for people coming in through town, picking up orders and so on. So showroom will be 3 times the size, should be very customer friendly, user friendly. So that's also something we're excited about. So
will the Snow Goose full bodies, will they be at SquadFest for people to see?
They'll be there on display. They won't be for sale yet, but they'll be there on display. All the decoys, the diver should be on display. A-frame, the chairs we offer, utility bucket, all the technical gear that I basically just mentioned should all be on display. And a lot of accessories we've developed that kind of under the radar. The dog bumper stuff, the bumper bomber, headlamps, shell shagger, which is our magnetic shell grabber, and on and on. So there's lots of stuff to look at there.
We can have full body specs.
Full body honkers and specs are on the way, but the most difficult thing about the 3-dimensional decoy versus a soccer silhouette is the carving aspect of it. The carver side of thing is kind of a dying breed, and the carver John Jones will tell you, there's just not a following. There's just not people developing the craft that there once was. So most of the guys are busy working on the world's carvings or commission carvings, or just having fun or enjoying retirement, frankly. So it's kind of a difficult thing to get these guys on board. And the full body side of things is really something that I don't think a lot of them are comfortable with. Most of them are comfortable with doing floaters. So basically, they've done these floaters for competitions their whole life. And then when you add the 3-dimensional piece to it and a goose being so large, it's just so cumbersome and burdensome for it. So yeah, the most difficult side of the full body world is coming up with the original that we actually make the tooling to recreate production units off of.
That's the story with everything. When we were in Venice, all the shrimp boats, a lot of the shrimp boats were just sidelined. There's no market for the price for shrimp it's at an all-time low, and they're figuring out ways to genetically modify shrimp. China's putting some silicone in them somehow. But like
the Chinese government has bought off our government, and we're sidelining our boats, but using their boats.
But that's gonna be like carvers, and not to get on a political rant or anything, but a lot of these traditions and arts aren't going to be there in another generation or two, just because there wasn't any need for, little Johnny to learn how to carve a goose decoy from his grandfather.
Right. And we heard the same about calling for years and years. And I've hunted with Hunter Grounds, and he was just saying the calling turnout. He used to travel with his dad, and they would go make decent money traveling the country and competing in calling contests. And it's just not that way anymore. There's hardly any contests, and the people that go, the field of callers is small and the payouts are smaller. So I don't know. I'd like to think we're doing a good thing for the calling industry to having SquadFest and the calling portion of it with $2,500 payouts for first place, and then second tier and third tier payouts for the bigger events. So yeah, that's another dying breed hopefully that comes back. So I talk about doing a carving competition there. Maybe it's something we really do get serious about in 2024, and hopefully it'll bring some talent. Maybe we commission some more carvings to keep the full body and floater line ever evolving for us.
That's a slippery slope with the calling contest and the carving. It's not a slippery slope, but it is a dying breed because people buy stuff instead of making their own things. Back then, you made stuff out of necessity. Yeah. We were talking we went to Del Bortolone's place the other day, and he makes a call, and the Bayou Beast calls, and he's a neat old guy, and he does everything by hand, like they used to do back in the day. And he makes a duck hole out of a piece of bamboo, basically.
He wants to be as close to the 1800s as he can.
But we talked about that with him, and he said people didn't buy calls when they started making these. They didn't have the money to buy a call. They were just trying to have a call so they could eat. And I think that's what's happened with a lot of these carvers and stuff. Is it's easier to go buy decoys than to carve your own anymore, and so they're harder and harder to find those guys. Plus, people are spoiled; they don't want to have to work on something. What's it take to carve a decoy from wood? I mean, it takes a while,
especially when it looks like worth a shit.
Yeah.
Long time. And the patience and my patience is kind of like low these days, I'd say, comparable to what it was with everything going on with social media and all the apps. And I've got 4 million logins and the customer service hoops. It's just like a kid's attention span anymore. Most of our consumers prefer the sub 1 minute or sub 30-second advertisement or thumbnail preferred to the full length thing in some cases. And that's just kind of indicative. You think a kid doesn't have the patience to sit through a 20-minute video. He sure as heck isn't going to have the patience to sit down and carve from a block of wood to make one decoy, let alone the dozen he needs. So
no, that's true. And how many old-fashioned waterfowl shops are there or hunting stores that you go to anymore? There's not very many. They've all been taken out of business by Bass Pro Shops all over the United States. When I was a kid, every town had a place you could go buy guns.
Sporting goods store?
An actual sporting goods store that wasn't Dick's. I mean, place that was a hunting store. It really wasn't a sporting goods store. It was a hunting store. They don't have those anymore, hardly. They're hard to find.
Our small sporting goods store here, Outdoors Incorporated, it was there for over 50 years. It just closed its doors. They said they just couldn't keep up, couldn't make any money. And on and on. I think the guys running it was more labor love than anything, and they were all getting up in age, and they said just forget about it. So
yeah, you can't do it. You'd go to a store like that and you'd go buy your shotgun there, and they'd mark the gun up a little bit and make some money. Well, nowadays Bass Pro Shops goes in like Walmart and they put everybody else out of business.
And that new SBE 28 gauge. I'd looked for one. I called all the little local guys here to give them a shot at getting one. Oh, there's no telling. We may never get one. Well, they put it in a new Bass Pro Shop, and you go in, there's 3 on the shelf. And you're like, I can't find this anywhere. And they're like, well, this is the new store. So of all the stores that get allocations, we're the one that gets it. I'm like, that's great. But at the same time, it's like, man, these little guys just keep getting dealt worse and worse hands,
Yep.
So how does that work? So each store gets an allocation of shotguns or something like that?
Benelli probably went to Bass Pro and said, here, we're going to sell you 10,000 guns.
Right. And then they can't make that many to distribute to the other little guys?
Well, no, they sold Bass Pro Shops. I'm just using 10,000 as a number. I have no idea. They might sell 1 million. I don't know.
Right.
But they go to Bass Pro Shop and they say, listen, if you want them, we'll sell them all to you. Would you rather sell as a business owner? I'd rather have one customer buy everything and not have to jack with everybody. And that's what they do.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
That's if everybody's going to buy everything you can make and it's one company buys it all, it's pretty easy to deal with them.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, it's a slippery slope though, like you said, because I want people to be able to find an affordable solution to this, but I also wish that there was a way that we could keep a lot of these heritage and traditions alive, because that's what makes waterfowl hunting fun and interesting, is whenever you look at the history of it all and the tradition. And I just think we're going to get to a place, and like you had alluded to earlier with social media and everything taking over, and I don't know where we're headed, but I don't know that it's all that great either. And maybe it will be, but I have my reservations.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't know. And I don't want to be the guy that's like bashing the younger generation or anything like that, because there is a place for them, and maybe my way is not the right way. It's probably not, but it is fun to take a step back and see the way that they did it in the 1800s compared to today, and so on and so forth.
You know, we make fun of the flat bill wearing kids all the time, but by gosh, they buy a lot of decoys, don't they?
They do.
They do. And when I refer to kids without attention span, that's myself. I'm more guilty than anyone. I still consider myself a young guy, but no, that's kind of a struggle we're all going to deal with, but we just got to adapt. So
yeah. No, my, and I'm like you too though, but it's all because of the phone. Like I want to go see the new Oppenheimer movie, but then I saw that it's 3 hours long.
And I'm like, too.
There is no way in hell that I'm going to be able to go to a theater for 3 hours.
Just go see Barbie instead.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so go watch Barbie instead.
I saw grown-ass people going to see Barbie.
Oh, yeah,
like adults without kids.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
It's all over social media. You should see the girls, gals my age. They're all dressed up in pink having Barbie parties. And I think at the theaters, they've even got a Barbie box that you step into and you can be Barbie. It's kind of, man. I think they got.
Did Disney make it?
I don't know. I saw a trans go in there and looking a little rough. I don't know that they pass as Barbie. It was pretty rough.
Barbie's all about the woke people shouldn't even like Barbie, but I heard this movie's real woke, so it probably fits their narrative. But I wonder if it's a Disney movie.
Probably not. I did see that Disney's redoing Snow White or something, and they've got like a supermodel that's playing the evil, ugly witch, and then they got this other lady, not as attractive. She's attractive, not as attractive, playing Snow White, and I don't know. I'm going to be out on that. But yeah, when I saw Oppenheimer was 3 hours long, I was like, no, I'm going to have to wait for it to stream, and then I'll take it in about 30-minute chunks, 30-minute chunks.
How can they make a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? Ain't dwarfs bad to have nowadays? That's kind of politically incorrect, isn't it?
Yep. So
I can't figure out what to call
I'm the
them.
same way.
But I did hear that the Oppenheimer bombs, the audio of the bomb going off is interrupting the Barbie movies next door, and all the Barbie fans are getting a little perturbed.
Are they really? I haven't heard that.
Well, I'm all about Oppenheimer, and I'm not going to see Barbie. So I want to see Oppenheimer very bad. We went to the World War II Museum in New Orleans. That's a must for anybody that goes to New Orleans. That is an amazing museum to go to. If you go to Venice, you need to stop there if you like history. It's a very, very somber place, but it's really interesting. As a whole, that greatest generation, there is no doubt that's the greatest generation that ever lived. Hands down.
Check it out.
Barbie beat Oppenheimer at the box office this weekend.
Well, hell yeah. Grown women are having Barbie parties. There ain't nobody having an Oppenheimer party.
Yeah, but I still just figured Oppenheimer would
How
win.
much money did Oppenheimer bring in?
174.
What'd Barbie bring in?
337.
Choo.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Chunk of change right there.
Sound of Freedom's bringing it. Sound of Freedom's third, I think.
I don't know.
Margot Robbie's easy on the eye.
Oh, is she in Barbie?
Yeah, she's Barbie.
Oh, yeah. She is a smoke show and a half. I did not know who she was until I watched
Wolf of Wall Street. No, nobody knew who she was until the Wolf of Wall Street.
I've never seen Wolf of Wall Street, but
you haven't?
No, what's it called in Hollywood, where she plays?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, have you seen that movie?
I have not.
That's a good movie. It's kind of a side throw of Helter Skelter, kind of with.
It's a Tarantino movie, so if you don't like Tarantino movies, like it, you wouldn't like it. I like Tarantino movies.
It was a very good movie, I thought.
The Django Unchained was so loud and so brash, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I watched that recently, or parts of it. I skipped forward.
It was funny as hell, though, in so many parts. Though that was such a. I like Django. My youngest son, they had a substitute teacher, and they wanted to watch a show, and he took Django up there, and they watched it at school. Could you imagine? She is 70 years old and had no clue what she was letting kids watch.
She didn't sub much after that.
Had some calls from some parents that was not happy that Django was on in there.
Yeah, I started watching Babylon. It's got Margot Robbie in it and Brad Pitt. It's also 3 hours long, but it's on Amazon Prime now, and that's another one that's a little weird. I made it about an hour and a half into it, but
have you ever heard of the series called Sinner that's on Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
Me and Michelle started watching that with Jessica Biel, I think's her name. That is
that's like a mini series.
Yes.
So each series is basically a whole new plot line, but that one with Jessica Biel was phenomenal.
That's what we're watching right now. We're through episode 5, and it's like one of those deals where it does, and Michelle goes, let's just watch one more. And then last night at 11 o'clock, she goes, can you do one more? I said, I'm freaking tired, but okay, one more. And then when it ended, I was like, I really would like to see the next one, but I hope she doesn't say, do you want to watch one more? Because I can get to bed.
Sinner is what it's called?
Sinners is what it's called. It's about a guy that's a police officer. He's got some weird fetishes, but man, it is a very, You don't know which way it's going. And I still don't know which way this one's going, but it is. But I've heard that the other ones are really good. But season 1 has been excellent.
I'll check it out once I get through Babylon.
It's very good.
All right, Cody, we're going to let you out of here. I will see you this weekend. We'll be there. I don't know. I don't want to be there, but I'll see you this weekend, and it's all going to go great. I'm looking forward to the 3rd SquadFest, and it's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see you and Asher and all the guys and everybody you got working for. You got a great crew there. So
thank you. So looking forward to seeing you, Andy, and have fun down at Delta.
I will see you next. I'll see you next year, Cody.
Sounds perfect. Thanks for having me as always.
Yes, sir. We will see you soon, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you, and God bless you, my friend.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Cody Stokes. I don't know how you haven't seen Wolf of Wall Street.
I just never have seen it. I don't watch very many movies unless there's something that I want. Other than seeing Margot Robbie naked, I don't know that I want to watch it.
Well, that's a major plus.
Well, I saw her in
That's a major plus.
The Dills of Hollywood.
She wasn't naked in it.
I thought she was naked in that.
No, she was not naked in that.
You know, she played.
You need to just take the rest of the afternoon off and go.
I've got lots of things. I've got a ton of stuff to do before I go out of town again. Ton of stuff. I'm way behind on some things. I got to ship stuff out. I've got stuff sitting in the office for 2 weeks I need to ship. If you've won anything off of us in the last 3 weeks and you haven't gotten it yet, it's because it's still in my office. Good deeds are meant to be done, and I am just slow on getting shit done sometimes. I've been so gone. So if you're waiting for something that you've won and you haven't gotten it yet, it's because it's in Knox City still, and it will be sent. I told everybody it was going to be sent last week, and then we got out of town, and I didn't send it, and I got to get it done today. So everything will be shipped today.
Sounds like somebody needs to make a list.
I need an assistant is what I need.
You and me both.
That's what I need. Yeah, you do too.
You and me both.
Patreon account. We're fixing to have another giveaway on there. This time we're going to give away we gave a goose call from Pacific, right?
We've done that.
Now we're fixing to give away a duck call from Pacific. So you got to be a member of Patreon to win. That's the only way you can win on this is be a member of Patreon. These companies are giving us this stuff to give away on the Patreon account. It's not like we're not doing stuff for this. We're going to have a giveaway. We're going to have a hunt giveaway for the podcast for just listening. And I don't know, Andy's got to come up with some rules for it, but we're going to do a 2-man hunt for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of November 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Why are you saying this now? Like, we're not even near releasing it, and then we're not going to remember what you said. So, I mean...
So I'm just talking for no reason to talk?
Basically, yes.
Hey, I'm just going off. I'm thinking out loud.
Yeah.
So you can just delete this out.
Or just move on.
Okay, we'll move on. All right, thank y'all for listening to us. God bless y'all. Have a great week. Come by SquadFest and see Andy. Come to Delta and see me. Appreciate you. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope to see you at SquadFest this weekend. It's going to be a great time. Lots of great callers, lots of great seminars, vendors. It's all going to be awesome. So I'll see you out there. We are also brought to you by Dirty Duck Coffee, Pacific Calls, Boss Shot Shells, Shin Gear, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Mossberg, Ducks Unlimited, Double T British Kennel, Stanfield Outfitters, Hemp Hill Farms, and Alpha Outdoor Specialties.